Inclusiveness as an attitude to institutions often serves significantly to engender peaceful coexistence. The claim to the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the focus of our program today, Violence Free World. My name is Kali Ikwe. Our special report begins now. Since the Nigerian Civil War in 1970, conscious efforts to unite all parts of the country have continued to this day. Cries of marginalization by certain sections have dotted our socio-political lives to a near point of nausea. The most complaint has come from the Southeast and Niger Delta region, while for the latter, it has been a case of economic exploitation on the account of oil exploration and sales to the neglect of the host communities. For the Southeast, it has been basically a feeling of deliberate exclusion or denial of the opportunity to assume leadership of the country. The Southeast region of Nigeria, particularly the Igbos, had been involved in an attempt to break away from the rest of Nigeria, hence the ensuing war that ended in 1970. Some Nigerians of Igbo extraction insist the rest of the country still bear a grudge against the Igbos on the account of that botched attempt to realize an independent state known as Biafra. They cite denial to key appointments and even infrastructural developments as reasons for this suspicion. Proponents of such thoughts believe same reason is responsible for why the presidency has eluded the region for so long.
The greatest challenge to development is fear and suspicion. And then when people gather and there is suspicion and there is fear and there is this tension, I don't know you, you can't make any progress. And that's particularly what has been the case of the Igbo man since the Nigerian Civil War, as we were told, and based on the literature we read.
Why would this federal government not ever agree that all those people who are carrying AK-47s are killing people are terrorists? Yet, it was so easy to quickly go to court to get an injunction and declare IPOB terrorists. That means that in the mindset of those who are running this country today, they see some people as their enemies. They have not come out of the Civil War. 50-something years later, they are still fighting the Civil War.
Viewed against the fact that only a few sections of the country have produced a president for Nigeria, a claim that the Igbos are deliberately schemed out lacked merit. For instance, of the about 1 million staff strength of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at least 18% of employees are of Igbo extraction, and at least 5 persons from that region, Evan Ewerem, Chuba Okadibo, Ayim Pius Ayim, Adolphus Wabara, and Ken Nnamani, had occupied the position of Senate President since the Civil War. It is worthy of note, too, that Lieutenant General Azubuike Ihejorika was appointed as Army Chief of Staff by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan in 2010. Commodore Ebitu Ukuiwe also served as Chief of General Staff, next in hierarchy to President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida in 1985. The civilian administration before then had Dr. Alex Ekweme as Vice President to Shehu Shagari in 1979. Dr. Ekweme later joined in the presidential race when he contested alongside Olusegun Obasanjo for the PDP ticket in 1999. Subsequent shots at the president has seen names like Chuba Okadibo, Emmanuel Iwayaun, Rochas Okorocha, Peter Obi, Kingsley Mohalu, Obi Ezekwesili, and a host of others participate robustly. These patriots contested keenly each time in a process that was conclusive. While nothing tangible substantiates claims of conspiracy and a deliberate scheme to keep the presidency out of the reach of the Igbos, activities of certain groups and individuals have served to deepen that fear of alienation among the Igbos.
Just the fear that if an Igbo man gets there, they may begin to drive their forgotten ambition of close to 40 something years ago. The Civil War ended in 1970, as we are told. This is 2020. That's 40 years ago. So what is the fear? So people have been afraid that yes, if we give the Igbo, he will go back to the script of 1966, 1967. That script is written and gone. We are looking at a new Nigeria. And that new Nigeria must give every Nigerian the space to perform, to contribute their own quota to national development.
Many activists have under umbrella bodies like MASOB, IPOB, Ohaneze, and several others vehemently agitated for justice. Some have even taken it to the extreme by calling for the actualization of the once contemplated state of Biafra. Ohaneze, however, seemed to resonate more with the larger public as the main umbrella body for the Igbos with which negotiations can be held. It is worrisome, therefore, that even this body has become a subject of litigation between fellow Igbos, an act that smacks of sabotage to frustrate the ultimate noble agenda. The radical rhetoric from some of these activists and groups beclouds the noble intent or ambition of Indigbo. Nnamdi Kanu, who holds a dual citizenship, British and Nigeria, is a self-acclaimed leader of the independent people of Biafra, IPOB, and his actions put him and his group on a direct coalition course with the federal government of Nigeria. Radical activities of this nature serve to reinforce that soul consciousness on the minds of all concerned. It must be acknowledged, though, that an overwhelming number of leaders of Igbo extraction have condemned in very unequivocal terms the activities of these groups.
This section of this country, you have people that can agitate. The Yorubas has their own agitation. The Northerners have. The Igbos too have. So, but they are not, in fact, the agitation is not speaking for the Igbo people. But they are speaking on their own as people that are agitating. They have their reasons. Same thing with the people from OPC. Same thing with the Northern Youth Forum. Everybody speaks their mind, but it's not for speaking. They are not speaking for the North. The other one are not speaking for the Yorubas. This one is not speaking for Igbos.
The IPOB group, for instance, you understand? When they present their information, there are a lot of mix that they play around. You know, so when they play around, somebody can easily come and say, this is not true. There was a time when I talked of massacre of Igbos, and then people just that this thing actually happened in another country in Africa. I mean, you don't do that. So if you are to be a leader, you should stand for one thing: truth. You should be factual. You should stand for, so that whatever you say becomes authoritative. Don't begin to jumble and mumble things just because you want to create passion and emotion.
The quest for self-actualization is not something peculiar to just the Igbos, as it has actually been contemplated regardless of magnitude by many other groups. The Yorubas, Ijaws, and probably others have at various times toyed with the idea of self-actualization to a near point of believability. While nothing serious suggests any deliberate plot to frustrate the possibility of an Igbo presidency for Nigeria, many believe such feat at this point of our national life will serve greatly to promote unity and integration. Soothing as that may be, political leaders from that sections of the country, like others from the minority tribes, must note that power is rather taken than given. It behoves them, therefore, to escalate their maneuvers and alliances across the divide as a way to achieving this feat. The infighting that threatens Ohaneze presently must also be stemmed quickly.
I would have liked the country to try an Igbo man as a president, because they will unite this country. Igbo man is such a person that lives everywhere in the whole world, not even in Nigeria. And anywhere they live, they believe that place is home. So Igbo man will unite this country. Those things we're looking for, that unity, Igbo man will bring it.
I believe in a united Nigeria, one Nigeria as a political entity. I believe that there is no part of this country that will not gain from remaining part of a united Nigeria. But at the same time, I have been saying that one way of ensuring stability and progress in this country is to restructure the present governance structure of this country. I do not believe that as presently structured, that we can achieve political stability. The agitations will continue in different parts of the country.
Nation building for most countries goes with managing challenges of trust and perceived alienation and hegemony by sections with a numerical advantage. A Southeast presidency, therefore, like it happened for the South-South, will help further in dousing tension as we march towards a violent, free Nigeria. Our guest to the program today is a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress and also the managing director of National Inland Waterways. His name is George Mohalu, and he joins us from Lokoja. Chief Mohalu, you're welcome to the program. We are discussing national integration. And generally, would you say that as we strive to achieve national unity, the people of the Southeast region, particularly the Igbos, have been fairly treated in this entity called Nigeria?
It depends actually how you're looking at it and who is making the assessment and what is the basis. Because for you to draw a successful conclusion on this subject matter, especially something like this, when you are trying to say whether a people has been fairly treated, it depends, one, on the issues at stake. You must have the parameter that you're going to use to make the assessment. Are you looking at way of infrastructural development? Are you looking at the way of governance? Are you looking at it strictly from the point of economic development? Are you looking at it from the perspective of academic development? So these are all issues you have to look at. But for me, I see our people as fairly treated. We are okay as a people, but what we need to do is to harness our own resources and then build our potentials, because we are very strong people, very committed people, very dedicated people, people who know what they want, and people of identifying our areas of interest and look at ourselves, our position in the Nigeria equation. And when we look at that, then we can be able to streamline our aspirations, our desires, and then be able to put it in proper context.
Okay, going forward, you may wish to comment on the perceived alienation by the rest of the country against Indigo. What do you really think is going on here? Do you think the rest of the nation hold a grudge against the people of the Southeast on the account of the last civil war that ended in 1970?
I think this is more of perception. This is actually more of perception, not reality. But you must also take into account of the fact that, like I said, we are a committed and determined people. Look at the mileage. Where were we immediately after the Civil War? And where are we today? We're very industrious people, people who know what they want and who go for it. If you look at the mileage we have covered from the end of the Civil War to today, you will appreciate what I'm saying in very proper context. Yes, issue of trust, issue of confidence, once there is a war like this, or whether once there is a disagreement, even within families, even amongst friends, once there's a quarrel, established quarrel, usually you find a problem of trust this time around. So it requires everybody being sincere and committed. With time, such trust and confidence will be restored. For me, I feel that is in the past now, because we are one people, we are one nation, our destinies are tied together, and we are growing together. We are building on the past. That's why today you have people both from all extractions, the Southeast, the Northwest, the North Central, Southwest, South, all intermingling together, all playing politics together, going to school together, marrying now, unlike before. Now you have cross-tribal marriages so much amongst the people. So for me, I really don't think that that counts so much now. Confidence is being restored to a very reasonable extent. A lot has been done, and a lot of mileage has been covered.
Okay, I take it that you're one of those persons who do not believe that there's any deliberate scheme to put the presidency out of the reach of the Igbos or people of the Southeast generally.
No, there's certainly, I don't think there's any deliberate plot to do that. But the point is that you must play according to the rules. Okay, what we are practicing today in this country is participatory democracy. It's a matter of elections, it's a matter of numbers. And you have to use party platforms. The Igbos, of which I'm very proud to be one, we are in all the political parties. It's a matter of us now as a people building bridges, establishing fresh contacts, making new friends, building relationships that can assist us. Politics is all about contact. It's all about making friends so that we can now take over the platforms that are available so that we can be able to present candidates. Don't forget, don't lose sight of the fact that today, as far as our constitution is concerned, there are no provision for independent candidacy. That is one. Two, for you to be on the ballot, it has to be ballot representing a party. And today, as it is today, me and you know, if we must be honest with ourselves, that there are only two platforms that one can use to actualize any presidential ambition. It is either APC or it is either PDP. So what we need to do as a people, we have the men. I can tell you that without fear of contradiction. We have the quality men and women who can run this country. We have them. Are you getting me? So what we need to do as a people is for us to strategize like other people are doing, because power is not given, power is taken. We strategize, because every election has two stages, the primary and the post-primary. You have to win primary to have a party ticket, after which now you go for the main election. So we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to build bridges. We need to establish friendships. We need to come together as a people and then prepare ourselves, realizing that we must either use platform A or platform B. So what we need to do is to look at where is our chances, where do we have the likeliest opportunity to be able to win elections. So if we understand that, we now go to the drawing table and work hard. Today, luckily, and good enough, we have prominent Igbo sons and daughters in APC. We have prominent Igbo sons and daughters in PDP. It's a matter of everybody go back to your party and see to what extent you can do to win the confidence of others, because you're looking for a president of Nigeria of Igbo extraction. So for you to be a president of Nigeria of Igbo extraction, the man from Northwest has a role to play. The man from South-South has a role to play. The man from Southwest has a role to play. So with other zones, North Central, Northeast, and Southeast, all of us, everybody has a role to play. So what we need to do is to build bridges. Because in these two parties, you have people across the various divides. So once we're able to do that, then we can be sure that we can take the issue of the presidency for granted.
That takes me into the much work that is incumbent on us as a people to promote national unity as it concerns the economy, culture, and the rest. Now, what do you think the Igbo presidency will do to this ambition or to this quest?
It's not about a tribe. Let's get that clear. It's about the candidate. It's about the determination of the person. You can't say that every Igbo man will make a good president. Neither can you say every Southwestern man will make a good president. No. Okay? It's about the individual. It's about the mission. It's about his vision. It's about where he wants to take the country to. And then it's about also the platform he's going to run on, because every platform has a manifesto. But I can assure you that within the APC today, we have quality, qualified Igbo sons and daughters who can drive this nation forward, just like we have in other zones. That fact must be established. There was a time I was presenting a paper. I said, if there's anything Nigeria has, it's human resources. We have that. I can tell you with every sense of honesty that you can get a complete presidential cabinet from every street in this country.
Okay, we'll take a break now. I'll be right back after this time out.
We're talking violence.
Welcome back. Our guest speaking to us from Lokoja is T. George Mohalu. Now, no doubt, George Mohalu, you are a detribalized Nigeria. But your views, your position on some of these things, I'm not sure will go down too well with people of the Southeast. I imagine you standing in their midst and saying all of this. I don't know how you think they're going to take it. But I mean, have you taken into consideration most of the things that they say a lot of times?
No, it's not about, it's about reality. One thing I don't do, as a matter of personal policy, is I don't fool myself. I don't fool myself. I don't deceive myself. I don't tell myself lies. Nobody will, it will be likely, let me not say it's impossible because I'm not God, but it is very unlikely to happen that we will sit down and say, okay, this time around, take power and give to Mr. A, Okeke, or Mr. Okafo from Southeast.
Is that not what they did to General Olusegun Obasanjo when he was practically handpicked to become president in 1999?
You are talking about 1999. When the military, in fact, for us politicians, we are ready to accept anybody. Let him not be a military man. That was the feeling across the country. Everybody wanted the military out. We have thanked them for what they have done, but let them give chance. So in that case, even if they have brought, not even Obasanjo, anybody else they would have brought would be acceptable to all Nigerians. But at the same time also, they created the process through a political party platform. They didn't just wake up over the radio and announce to us that we are giving you President Obasanjo. Obasanjo was still, they may have schemed it, you never can say. They may have worked it out, they may have structured it. I'm not in a position to say. But the point is that what they did was that they had three major platforms then. PDP, APP, and AD. I happened to be National Secretary of APP about that time. But the point here is that they still used the same political party platform. They still went through a primary before going for the election. These are facts, incontrovertible facts. But they may have worked from the answer to the question. But it may not be able to happen now because you're talking about a democratic setting. That you have to win primary from your local government, from your ward, up to the national convention, where convention will be held and the election candidate is delivered. And after a candidate has been delivered, you will now subject that candidate to a contest with candidates of other political parties. As we speak, we have 93 political parties. And you cannot determine where their candidates will come from. But the question here is, of these 93, can you please mention the ones that has the capacity to deliver a presidential candidate? And I told you, in all honesty, without disrespecting the other parties, only two. Because there are only two that have the structures across the entire states of this country. And if that is the case, because, like I said, every state has a role to play. For you to emerge as presidential candidate, before emerging as even the president of Nigeria. Because every of these parties must have visible, viable structures in the 774 local governments of this country. Because delegates from all wards in these local governments will elect whoever is going to be the candidate of these two political parties. So it's not about wish. I wish I am president. Who wouldn't wish that?
Finally, let's get your word of advice on this entitlement thing. Some set of people feeling entitled. What about the rest of the people? But generally, and your word of advice to the rest of Nigerians to concerning this inclusiveness thing, presidency to the Igbos, presidency to that side and that side generally, and how this can help us achieve the national cohesion, the national unity that we crave this much for.
Okay, let me start by reminding us that all power belongs to God. And he gives to whom he pleases at his own time. First of all, anybody who is aspiring, any people, including my people, like I said, I'll be glad, like every other Igbo man, to have an Igbo a president of Igbo extraction. I will. Like every other person will. But the truth is that it is not an appointive position. It is an elective position. And for you to arrive there, there is a process. First, for me, process is to seek the face of God. Process is to build bridges, build relationships, convince power blocks, convince individuals of our honesty of intention, get people to understand where we are coming from, where we are going to, and the reasons for aspiring for that power. So by the time you build these bridges, you will find out at the appropriate time that it will not even be your fight. People will do the fighting for you. By the time you build these bridges, by the time you win these friendships across the board, by the time your handshake crosses the Niger. So it requires consultation, it requires building bridges, it requires building friendships, it requires participating in the democratic process. All these people who are agitating to get this power for the Igbo nation, are they members of political parties? For me, like I've said, the shortest cut for the Igbo man to get the presidential power is through APC. And I have my argument to present why I think so, of which I'm entitled to it because it's my opinion. And I will give you 1,001 reasons why I think so. So how many of us are involved in the politics of APC? The truth still remains that we need a political party platform until such a time the constitution is changed, that anybody can from his house run as an independent candidate. But as it is today, you must seek the ticket of a political party. And from empirical evidence, only 2 parties can provide you that opportunity. To what extent are we involved? Like I said earlier, power is not given, power is taken. And for you to take it, you have to work for it. You have to prepare yourself for it. And then those who are interested will make themselves known, so that their own credibility, their individual credibility will also help in the process.
All right, Chief Mohalu, I think that's a very good point to leave it. At this point, I must say thank you very much for finding time to oblige us. Same time next week promises much more if you endeavor to be here. My name is Kale Ikwe. Remember to remain on the road to a violence-free Nigeria. God bless you.